with our next inductee. He is a third generation athlete, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Rocket Fred Curry Jr. Oh. And here to induct Fred Curry is, well, a retired professional wrestler, now a fellow ring announcer, and he has got the whitest teeth in the room, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Birdie Curdy Kurt Adonis.
Thank you, Rich, for that wonderful introduction. And I just want to piggyback on something that Paul said about the generosity of your father and the generosity of you and Hercules. I told the story earlier when I was 9 years old. Survivor Series 1990 at the Hartford Civic Center. My father waited on your father. He was working at the restaurant, and he said, yes, I will. He told your father that my son's a huge wrestling fan. And your dad said, give me his address. And a couple weeks later, I got a package in the mail. Now, I'm 8 years old now. Not too many 8-year-olds get packages in the mail, but I opened that package and there was a magazine with the bookmark in it. And I opened it up and it was an autographed, personalized picture from Paul Roma and Hercules. I wasn't very popular in school. I struggled a lot, but when I brought that picture, that magazine, personalized, it really changed my life. So I thank you, Paul, and I thank Hercules' family for doing that for me. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank Perry Saturn because he gave me a life lesson where he told me to shake hands like a man. And I've taken that into my real world, my real life job, and it's a life lesson that I've never forgotten. Thank you very much for that. And to Aaron Morrison, Johnny Idol, Alex, Ariane, Ariel, you guys are great. Bryan Ferry, hi, my name is Kurt. But now we're here to talk about Fred Curry Jr. and according to the World of Wrestling magazine from December 2000, Fred made his professional wrestling debut on September 22nd, 1999 as he teamed with his father in Columbus, Ohio to defeat the TNTs. Wow, there's a picture of you in the bathtub. Anybody who wants to see this, I'll be sitting over in the corner. I knew about Bill Curry, his grandfather, one of the greatest heels and the toughest men to ever grace the professional wrestling world. I knew about his father, Flyin Fred Curry from the Pro Wrestling Almanac, who in 1972 was tied for the most popular wrestler in the world. So right here, the fellow Hall of Famer, Fred Curry, Flyin Fred Curry. I first heard the name Rocket Fred Curry Jr. from Sheldon Goldberg. Where's Sheldon Goldberg? Sheldon brought Fred in, and he made him sound like the greatest thing in the world. He's the Rocket. He's a third-generation superstar, and I saw the pictures, and I saw the flyers, and we all had the hype. There wasn't much internet going on back then, but Rocket Fred Curry was the it thing. And then on August 27, 2000, we happened to be on the same show. And as we're sitting there in the Millennium Theater, I saw Fred sitting there by himself, lacing his boots. I'm like, this is my opportunity. I'm going to go meet him. So as I come over, hobbling over with my boot, and I sit down next to Fred, I'm like, hey, my name's Kurt. You like to go out? I meant to clubs, but you know what? As I was nervously lacing my boots, and he probably think I was hitting on him, a friendship started. And for 18 years, I can count my best friends on one hand, and Fred Curry, you're one of them. We had the opportunity to work for a man, and I can't believe this is the first time the name's been spoken this evening, Mike Spada. Where Fred myself, Tim McNeely, and the hippie freak became the unofficial Klizik. We would hang out. We would all drive from our personal lives and get up to the shows in Boston, Massachusetts, and we'd get to the shows and we'd do the shows, and the shows were great, but we couldn't wait to get back to Tim's, take a quick shower and get out for a night on the town. So we'd hit the Kells, we'd hit the White Horse, we'd hit the Busy Bee for wings, and we would party till the sun came up. And we would take that time and we would talk about the previous evening's show. How are we going to improve tomorrow night's show? And we would sit there until the sun came up, and believe it or not, somehow it just seemed like those Friday night shows were, no matter how much we talked about them, were better than the Saturday night shows, and well, certainly better than the Sunday afternoon shows when those happened. But we had a booking room and we had great arguments about Fred Curry and his height, because Fred claims he was 6 feet tall and Tim McNeely says you're 5 foot 11 inches, and it literally ended up in fisticuffs. Because to quote the great Killer Kowalski, Fred, you were too short to be champion. I'll make it quick. Fred and I, we were great great opponents. We got to wrestle each other. I got to dress like him, where I got the Kid Curry to actually believe that I was his brother, because we kind of look like each other. So if I put a hat over my head and I had to smile, we look alike. We got you on that one, Nikki. We actually wrestled in a Costco, where I hold a victory over Fred Curry as we're brawling in Costco, and the people are looking at the deli aisle wondering why these two guys are beating the heck out of each other in the middle of the store. I hold a count-out victory over you. Thank you, Zombie, for that quality booking. Little known fact that Fred Curry actually wrestled Eddie Guerrero for Mike Sparta when Dr. Tom Pritchard came and wanted to evaluate Eddie Guerrero to see if he was ready to come back to the WWE. And they had a match, and believe it or not, Eddie actually mentioned it in his book. If I could quote Eddie Guerrero. One of my first indie bookings had me wrestling in front of 25 people in some school gym. The match was the Drizzling Cheez-Its. When I came back, I was livid. I was pissed off. I started throwing chairs around, cursing the works. Then I thought, hey, who cares? There's only 25 people out there. Who gives a Cheez-It? But then it hit me. Who gives a Cheez-It? I give a Cheez-It. I don't care if there are 25 people or 25,000 people. I only want to give them my best out there. So Freddie Curry, thank you for lighting the fire under Eddie Guerrero that made him the superstar and Hall of Famer and world champion that we all love and appreciate. We have had so many good times at your beach house. As a matter of fact, and I use this cliche a lot, Fred, we have forgotten more good times than most people will ever experience in a lifetime. And for that, we are truly fortunate. You're a rocket, you're a Connecticut idol, and by the way, it was your fault that Psycho Sid beat the heck out of both of us. You're a rocket, you're a Connecticut idol, you're a heat seeker. You've worked for ACW, DPW, WWA, NECW, NWA, NEW, and you love Monopoly. You're a drop-kicking guy who hits you in the sternum. You are the grandson of Bull Curry. You're the son of Flyin Fred Curry, and you're the brother of Kid Curry. Please give it up for the newest member of the 2018 New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, the Rocket, Fred Curry.
Thank you, Kurt. That's flattering.
No, I want to thank Joe Bruen. This is a great honor. Thank you very much. So if you guys have a little bit of time, I just want you to sit back. If you got about 45 minutes, I want to talk about the trials and tribulations of being a third-generation superstar. No? No, Johnny, no? My wife's sick of hearing that story anyway, so we'll move along. I was privileged growing up in the wrestling business. My grandfather, Wild Bull Curry. My father, Flyin Fred Curry. Thank you. Got to go up and down the roads with him during the summer times, watch him wrestle the Sheik, names like Bobo Brazil on the show, and so many others. And you know, I enjoyed it. I kind of liked it, but he was always talking me out of being in the wrestling business. Forget about the wrestling business, not for you. Are you sure, Dad? Definitely not for you. Okay, so then I went to Ohio State. I played lacrosse there. Afterwards, I kind of got the itch because it was, you know, during the Monday Night Wars. I said, oh boy, maybe I could do this. Maybe I could do this with my name. Dad, can you train me to be a professional wrestler? And he just looks at me, he goes, no. I'm like, Dad, come on, I can do it. He's like, you don't know a wrist lock from a wrist watch. Forget it, you'll get your ass kicked. Forget it, no. So I begged him for like a month, 2 months. Dad, will you please train me to be a professional wrestler? Finally he says, okay, just leave me alone. So he did. So I got to train with Dad where he would stiff me accordingly on this plank, awful, uneven ring for about 3 months. He sent me down with Dory Funk Jr. to train in Florida. I was very, very fortunate to do that. So once that was done for a year, I decided to move up to New England and wrestle up here. You know, the Rocket, Fred Curry Jr., all that hype. I got to New England, I'm like, yeah! So then I got to work with guys like Johnny Idol and Alex Arian and Ron Zombie and Kurt Adonis and Dylan Cage. And I'm like, how was that? Was that good? Yeah. They were like, no. Particularly Johnny Idol. I probably worked with him 100 times, maybe 100 times, every match. Johnny, how was it? Was it good? No, man. Shit. I'm like, why? And then it would occur to me as I was wrestling matches with him, when he would try to make me look like $1 million, and I say, try, he did a great job, and then he'd be sitting there selling. He would look at me and go, sell, kid, sell. Then years later, when I worked with you again, I was wrestling Ruth Starr, who you were managing, and I'll never forget, Ruth Starr was peppering me up a little bit, and I was, you know, doing what I was supposed to do, and Johnny was looking at me from the apron. He goes, are you selling? Like in shock. Are you selling? Yes, Johnny, yes. And that's the thing about professional wrestling for us, like many of you have touched upon. It's up and down the road. It's developing friendships, developing ties, and learning. Always learning from each other, how to be better wrestlers, how to be better people, and never forgetting what you're going through together, and always giving the crowd every bit of you, every time you can. And that's a special thing. So I want to thank all of you. I want to congratulate all the other inductees, all the other honorees. I won't take too much more of your time. I just want to thank my wife Tara, who's here tonight. Thank you, baby. I love you very much. I want to thank my good friends, Kurt Adonis, Ron Zombie, and the Revolution. Chris Bennett walked in. I don't know if anybody saw him. And I see you over there, Sonny. Don't worry, I still want to make out with that guy. I want to mention my brother, Kid Curry, Nick Curry. He's an up-and-comer. He's trained really hard. He's doing very well, and he's taking bookings now, 99% heat-free. And in closing, I want to thank my father. My father, Flyin Fred Curry. Behind me every second of my life. Whether I was in college, whether I was wrestling, every every second of my life. He's like, you could be a doctor, a lawyer, I'm behind you all the way. Guess what, Dad? I run a bar now, so. You learn one thing at The Ohio State University, it's about alcohol. But Dad, without you, I wouldn't be here right now. And I love you very much, and thank you. And thank you, Joe. Thank you to the New England Hall of Fame. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.